Basketball. Tonight, the 3-3 Polar Bears travel in to take on the 3-3 Bearcats. This is the second episode of The Rebound here on Grafton Sports Network. I'm joined by JK. I know.
Okay.
And Bryce Kelly. Here we are. Let's get into it. For the boys, they had a nice bounce-back win to stop their three-game skid versus PB. Even though PB's not a great basketball team, and we let them score a little too many points. And our defense hasn't been great, but we held our own against a good Husky team, so it'll be interesting to see how they can hold up tonight. Anything I want to add?
I mean, it's great to get a win against a rivalry team, no matter how bad they are, how bad you are. You always want to go into those games wanting to win them. It doesn't matter what the records are. You just got to compete, and it can really give you some momentum going into your future games.
Yeah. And add on to that, pretty cool that they had their last game against Philip Barber at AB's old court, which just shut down 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's good to see them utilizing that gym rather than to just collect dust, because you shouldn't waste it. It's a very nice gym.
And it's always fun to play on a college sports field.
Yeah,
court,
we played at AB to start the soccer season. Beat Lindsley. That was fun. Lovely. And then last time we played senior, it didn't go great. We played better defensively, at least. We held them to 63 points, which isn't terrible, but a lot to be desired, especially since we only scored 43 points. So we'll see how we can improve on that. There you go. And then the efficiency of this offense has been okay from the field, but particularly from three, we have not been great, shooting only 21% from three. So to win some basketball games, we'll either have to stop shooting the three ball or start making a few more, because that's not great.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly don't know what to tell your team, because I haven't been around them like their coaches have. If they see them knocking down those shots in practice, I would tell them, keep shooting them. Eventually, you're going to start making them, and that's going to win you some games. But, I mean, if they're not hitting them in practice, you got to find a new game plan. Some plays, run inside, quick, in and out, give and goes, push shots up inside the paint.
And, JK, I know you're a baseball guy, so I'm going to do a baseball term here, because if you know a guy can't hit a pocket in the strike zone, you're going to throw it to that pocket every time.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of how defenses can approach our basketball team if we keep shooting like this.
For sure.
Let them shoot, sit back in the zone until they make you change, which so far we have not. So it'll be interesting to see how we can beat that. And then one plus we've had this year is solid rebounding. We've been putting up 30 boards a game, 13 offensive rebounds a game. So off those missed threes, most likely, second chances have been there, so that's always a plus. Hopefully we can capitalize off that. And then back to the issues, because it's been a roller coaster. We've had issues with ball movement in general. Only 12 assists per game and 13 turnovers. It's not ideal. Not ideal for a good offense. So we'll have to greatly improve off that.
That'll come. And as long as we're rebounding and making the easy buckets when we can, we're going to stay in every ball game. But we'll just have to start swinging the ball more, finding easier shots.
Yeah.
I think our offense needs to stem from our defense. We need to create turnovers and get on the fast break, because that's what our team does best. When we get hot, we start going. We're a momentum team. You see the guys yelling after every good play, screaming, getting up and down. They'll hustle. When they're in a feel for it, they'll push. And, that's just how you create your offense, by starting it defensively, stealing the ball.
Yeah. Anything you got, JK?
I'm good.
All right. And then a big way you can generate easy offense is the free throw line, where it's not been great. We've not been amazing. 62% isn't exactly what you're looking for, but that just takes practice. So I think we'll be the more the season goes, the more reps we get at the free throw line, I think we'll see that number increase. And then back to what Bryce said, the defense has been solid. We've been getting that 10 steals a game. That's pretty good. That can help us generate some more offense. So maybe that can help us build, and we'll see where we go from there.
Yeah.
All right. Now, with that being said, we've also averaged 15 fouls a game. That's a high number, so we'll have to see how we can adjust that because it's just been teams sitting at the free throw line, and they've been better at shooting free throws. So we'll have to close that gap to be more competitive.
Yeah, but on the other side of that, I have not been worried once about somebody fouling out this year because everybody seems so good. Like the depth on our team this year seems very good. If one person fouls out or gets hurt, we have another guy to replace them really quickly, which we haven't had in the years past.
I guess something big happened in the JV game. There's a bit of noise coming from the gym. I'm kind of curious. Patrick, what happened? Anything you could tell? We're down 12? All right. Well, it's all right. They got room to improve. They're JV. It'll be all right. And then defensively, we've averaged 62 points against. For high school basketball, that's not a number you like to see. I mean, in order to stay in these big games, we got to get that number way down. And we'll have to see that number way down tonight as well. We'll hold a underrated senior team down because they've had a lot of new transfers. They have promise. They've held their own against good teams, so we'll have to see how it goes. Scrap that. And now I'd like to shout out our sponsors. Quality Machine, serving the hardworking people of WV since 1975. From fabrication to welding and anything in between. If man made it, quality can fix it. Visit QualityMachineIncorporated.com. Next we have CG Farms. From fresh organic produce to quality cuts of meat. And not a fall anymore, a special on firewood. You can text or call 304-612-224. CG Farms, quality at its best. And finally, we have Keystone Realty Group for all your buying, selling, and renting needs with broker, guess who? Christina Guz. Visit Keystone Realty Group, WV.com. Keystone Realty, your key to home ownership. All right, back into it. Now, I'd like to highlight some of our key players for the boys. We have our leading starting scorer, because it's interesting how the scoring works for us, but we have Jacob Moats, who leads with 11 points. That's interesting because we haven't quite had a dominant scorer, which all great teams do have their staple. Like a few years back, we had Jacob Moats, who was the scorer for us, and we were pretty successful that year. So we'll see who can emerge as the lead guy for us, and I think that'll help us get back on track.
It's difficult to win basketball when you don't have a designated point scorer where you can just give him the ball. You need a tough bucket at any point in the game where you can just give it to him and go to work. You know, we sort of saw that with football where we didn't have a designated star player, team leader. You know, I feel like every team needs one of those, and I think with the matter of time as the season goes on, one player can step up. I'm thinking Caden Keener. You know, if he starts knocking down some of his shots, he is that player, and he can be that player.
Yeah, these seniors have really helped the team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure. I mean, Caden's been playing varsity since his freshman and sophomore year.
Yeah.
Owen and Jonathan have been playing from about the same time, sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
They've had plenty of experience, and I'm sure have been able to help these younger guys figure it out. But I'm sure they're really good leaders on the court.
Yeah, and going off what you said, I'd like to highlight one of the younger players because our leading scorer right now is Gage Alexander off the bench. So that's something we could see. Maybe he could grow into a bigger role as the season progresses. If we continue to need more scoring, I'd like to see Gage in the starting lineup. So that could be something to look at in the future.
You know, he's just a really athletic kid, and he will hustle, get boards, and push. He wants to call his own number. I've played soccer with him. You played soccer with him. When he gets the ball, he likes to keep it and he likes to go. And he can finish it sometimes. Basketball, I don't know. He's just athletic.
Man, that kid had a rip on him. I remember. What do you have? A ripper versus Lindsley, where it was just a crowded box and he just pounded it in.
He had a few corner kicks, went into the box. Yeah.
pretty good.
Oh, they probably didn't hear that at all, but it's all right. We'll keep moving.
Yeah, and along with Gage, Nate Mushaw has been very good off the bench with, I don't know how many points he's averaging, but right up there at 10, and he's doing really solid for just coming here from Texas this year.
We actually have the numbers. What is he averaging? Nate's got 5 points a game off the bench. I mean, considering we're averaging considering we're averaging like 50 points a game, it's not terrible. That's good. That's a good contribution
That's
to the
very
team.
solid, and his defense is hard to beat.
Yeah.
He plays as hard as anybody.
Absolutely. And then back to our rebounding. Our leader is Tucker Stemple. No surprises there. Big man on the team. But he's only averaging 7 boards a game. I feel like with his height advantage, he could absolutely eclipse that number and do more scoring-wise. I feel like he's averaging 8.8 points a game. I mean, Tucker can absolutely build on that and become a dominant force down there. I mean, his size can absolutely pose problems for their teams because this is high school basketball. I mean, 6'4" is not something you see often, so he needs to start using it more, I feel like.
I feel like Grafton doesn't play a big man ball, and that hurts us sometimes. You need to dominate in the paint. We see that with how we miss a good bit of shots. So I feel like we need to be able to grab offensive boards sometimes, put back to the basket, turn, put some post moves on, and then be able to score from there.
Yeah. Any comments? All right. Now let's look at our opposition, Fairmont Senior. They are a competitive basketball team. They've had a pretty hard schedule to start. I mean, they've kept it close, but lost to good teams like Byrd and Bridgeport, so they're good. They're good defensively. They held Bridgeport to 47, that's good numbers. Speaking of, I think Byrd plays Bridgeport. That'll be fun to see. I'm excited to see that result. And then I believe our defense could definitely hold them. They only average 57 points a game offensively, so the defense is their biggest threat. They're good defensively, so we'll have to step it up offensively to get the edge on this team.
Yeah, they're on a 2-game lose streak right now, so if we could extend that, that would be very good. And sometimes the momentum can go like a snowball, so hopefully we get up to 3.
Yep, and we broke our streak, so I'm feeling great going into this game. It'll be new. I don't think when was the last time we beat Senior? I don't have a stat on it, but I feel like it's been a minute. So
It's Senior, they're always
going to
be a tough team.
Yep. Except soccer. This game we tied in the regular season, so that wasn't great. Sadly, they do not have any stats put in, so that is the limit of information I have on that team. Now let's head to the girls. Where is that page? Oh, no.
Right here.
Oh, yeah. Well, we have a special shout-out. Kenna Keener is now the leading scorer in Grafton Bearcats history. Not just girls, but boys as well. So that's quite the statistic. It's impressive. And then, despite all the changes they had last year, they're still in pretty good form at a 5-4 record, along with a pretty tough schedule. So they could still be competitive. They could still make a state's push. So we'll have to see what they can do.
They still got a great defensive-minded team that they like to play how they were. Last year, their biggest thing was defense. They steal, transition. I see they still try to play that same way. You're missing a good bit more people. Is it 4 new starters or 3?
3 new starters.
3 new starters this year. Lost 3 seniors, but they're not no scrubs that filled in there. They got good, solid players that are in that starting lineup. They can really take down some good teams if they play the right way.
Yeah, I think the girls' team right now is built strongly off of the defense because I know they won 29-28 earlier in the week, which is not a very high-scoring game.
That's insane. I thought that was a football score at first. I mean, 29-28. That's
the defense was just clicking that game because
or the offense wasn't either one. Speaking of, the offense hasn't been very productive so far. They've only scored over 50 points one time this season in a losing effort versus Woodrow Wilson, so they have to improve on that. And then, as JK mentioned, these score lines, I swear they're made up. 29-28. Especially against a good team. Catholic's girls are pretty good. And they held them to 28 points. So impressive defensively, not impressive offensively. If they could just get it to 40 points, they're winning most of their games. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, for sure. But they're not slumming it when they are playing these teams. They're going a long way to find competition. And they just went to Woodrow Wilson, which is quite the drive. So
Yeah. That's the theme for these basketball teams. The boys are heading up to John Marshall this Saturday. They got away at Hampshire at some point in the season. I mean, the coaches are putting the gas mileage to work. It's incredible.
They got a few long away games, I believe. I'm trying to remember. I was talking to Caden. I'm pretty sure there's a stretch where they got a couple far games in a row, and they're not no slouch teams. They're tough teams to play against.
I believe the girls, are they also heading to Wheeling Central Catholic? I know the boys play Nitro away as well. So that's a haul.
That's one of those games.
Yeah.
I believe they play like Bridgeport Nitro back to back.
Yeah, that second half stretch of the season for the boys is going to be very tough. I hope we can get a win. I mean, and I feel like I'm being optimistic. These teams are incredible. Maybe we can pull one out, and that'd be great. But this part of the schedule is where we can really build it up. Against decent teams like Senior, we have to get these wins to make the state's push. Now, obviously in basketball, it doesn't matter, but you'd like to have good seedings to get better matchups, you know? All right, I feel like we're going back to the boys, so we're going to get back to the girls. All of their games are close. Their margin of victory is only 6 points. So in these low-scoring games, it's also close, competitive games as well. So you'd like to see that improve. You want to have comfortable wins in there. Obviously, the close wins are great, but to have those safe wins against not good teams is what you look for. As the soccer team also occasionally struggle with that, Buchanan Upshur.
Many times.
Yeah, that's a theme. It's all right. We made it through. They've only had one major loss so far this season, which was against a great John Marshall team. So it's been very competitive games so far this season. They kept it close with Morgantown, Washington. Those are the two I remember, but competitive games. And then, just like the boys, they are also a great rebounding team, averaging also 30 boards a game. And they've been great at forcing turnovers, as they also have 10 steals a game. I don't know why they're identical, but both of those are very good stats, and they'll help us get more possessions to hopefully improve said offense from before.
Yeah, these teams are very similar, struggle offensively sometimes, but they can make it up with some good defensive games, not too efficient on offense, struggle shooting sometimes, but yeah, very similar in the way these two teams play.
a crazy thing about it is last year they had so many seniors who all had a huge impact. This year they only have one. And Kenna Keener is putting up crazy good numbers, averaging like 25 points a game, but you still got to think they're going to have good teams in the future with these young girls who are just gaining experience by every year and every game. So
yeah, she also leads the state in double-doubles at the moment in AAA.
Really good.
So that is quite the stat. She's putting up a good case for Player of the Year, especially if we can make that push for Charleston as well. We'll have to keep an eye on that. And then back to what you said, Bryce, I'd like to say the statistics for our inefficient offense at the moment. 37% from the field, 21% from three, and 57% from the line. It's hard to win basketball games like that, and I'm very impressed that they have done that so far because it's a serious handicap to fight off poor shooting like that. So I'm very impressed that they are 5-4. Hopefully they can turn them around to get the more comfortable wins, as previously mentioned. And then another thing that has sadly plagued the offense is turnovers. In their last 3 games, because that's the only 3 games they have turnovers recorded, they're averaging 18 turnovers a game.
It's rough to win games with that. Rough to win with that many turnovers in a game, You cut those down. You're giving the other team way less possessions, less opportunities for them to score. Some of these games, 29-28. You give less turnovers. Who knows? They might score under 20 points. It's just that simple. Give the other team less possessions. You win. You have a higher chance of stopping them from scoring.
Yeah. I just want to say they've done a great job getting people opportunities this year. I know last year I'd come to games and there'd be 6 girls who play the whole time, and they'd only sub 1 or 2 out. But this year they are really letting everybody play and getting younger people experience and really showing them like everyone on this team can play, which that's just going to help them in the future.
Yeah, it's great for team morale as well. Keep everybody involved.
For sure.
And then I'd like to point out the hustle because every one of their starters averages at least a steal a game, with Natalie Beltner leading them with 3 steals a game. That's very nice quality, which is how we're keeping these scores so low. So we'll have to keep that up to keep us in these close ball games, especially if the offense can't produce. So we should be set if we keep that up.
Yeah, Natalie started last year as a freshman as well. Yeah. So she's definitely got experience.
Oh, yeah. Freshman going to states, you get a lot of experience from there. She had great people to teach around her. She'll develop real good into this system. And, everyone hustles on defense. It's that same defensive mindset that they had last year. They can really get steals, turn it over on you, and push and get fast break points.
Yeah. And then the scoring, it's just Kenna right now. That is the offense. And I feel like in order to be more successful on offense, we have to branch out a bit. We need to get the other people involved so we could possibly get more than 29 points. Now, I know it's only one game, but still, that's incredible. And then the next closest scorer is Natalie with 8 points a game, and then there's just a drop-off after them. So I believe it's Jordan Cox with 3 points a game is the next closest. So I feel like someone else need to step up.
Yeah, I think Natalie really needs to, call her own numbers sometimes. I want to see her getting, over 15 points a game, at 15 points a game. And then just that, I want to see, you need someone else to score, at least 8+ points a game. Yeah. It's hard to win games if there's that big of a drop-off. You just need people to come around you. Because defense can just smother those players, and you can't win if you're not hitting.
Yeah, I agree. And then back to the offense. There's just a lack of ball movement at the moment. Very low assist numbers. I forgot to add that to the set, so I just remember it was low, so we're going to go with that. So we'll have to generate more assists to hopefully improve this offense.
Yeah, last year it was just different. Everybody was moving the ball, passing the ball.
Yeah.
This year it seems like we're just giving it to a few people and hoping they score, but I think it'll come with more experience.
Yeah.
But they're doing nothing wrong. It's going to get it.
The ball movement came easy for us last year because we had that group of just experienced senior guards to help round out the offense. So
give them a shot.
All right, I will in a second. What was I talking about? Dang it.
Senior ball movement.
Senior ball movement. Thank you, JK. Yeah, with the senior leadership they had, the assists came easy. They could feed Kenna, swing the rock. The game flowed beautifully. So as these guards, the new guards, get more experience, I feel like we'll pick up to that pace later on in the season. And thanks to my amazing cameraman, Patrick Foley, who's currently away, but he's close. We are giving a shout out to the GHS entertainers on their sale of GHS merchandise. So go give them a check whenever you're in town. Now we have the Around the State Pick'em. I got a few matchups I feel like we should look at, and I want to know what y'all think. Big game, Bridgeport versus Bird. What do y'all think?
I mean, it's hard to go against Bridgeport. They're always so dominant in sports, but, it's at Bird. I like that environment for a basketball game. I think Bird could really they could pull that off. I'm going to take Bird in that one.
All right. We'll see. What do you think, JK?
I got to go with Bridgeport. They're a very solid team, and it seems that they always get that extra call, which I don't know.
Maybe something to investigate. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like Burge is really athletic, Very athletic ball team. But the thing is, as I'm looking into Burr's record, they don't have a proven win besides maybe senior, but we also don't really know the quality of seniors. So it's hard to gauge their success versus Bridgeport. You know what you're getting. So I think I'm going to take Bridgeport here in a very close ball game. So we'll see how that goes. Next one, another barn burner. We got Buchanan versus North Marion. This could be fun. What do y'all think?
I know Buchanan has some good players, but I mean, North Marion they're very well in all sports. They're very well coached, and I think I'm gonna have to take North Marion in this one too. I think it's a great squad. I saw they beat East Fairmont earlier this year, who was a very good squad. I just like North Marion in this one.
Yeah, I got to go with North Marion. Connor Ballstrom dropped 30-some points, triple-double, had a great game against us, absolutely dominated us. I don't know how Buchanan's going to be able to lock him down or the rest of the team.
Yeah.
They were a very solid team, great chemistry, it seemed, and they're going to be hard to beat.
Now, one thing we haven't highlighted from the North Marion East game, as Bryce mentioned, North Marion had a 20-point lead in that game, and East ended up taking them to OT. So I feel like Buchanan could do something similar to that, and they also have a kid averaging 27 points a game. That is a dominant score, and I feel like he's going to give North Marion problems, and that's why I'm going to take Buchanan to win that one. It's going to be a barn burner for sure. On to East versus Lincoln. Now, see, there wasn't that many matchups in the area, so we had to go with this one. So, unless you guys have any surprises, let me know what you think.
I'm just going to take East, I think they're the superior team. Is, just how the cookie crumbles this year, I guess.
Any different opinion?
No, I'm going to have to go with East. The way they fought
Yeah.
back from down 20 to go into double overtime, the amount of grit they have on that team is crazy. They're going to fight till the last minute, and I think that's what's going to let them win these ball games. But
They might not need that fight for this game, I'm going to be honest. This Lincoln team's kind of... They're all right, but this East team's certified, so I think they're going to absolutely handle business here. So let's just get on to the next matchup, honestly. Next, we have East versus Senior. This will be Friday, but it's a rivalry game. Obviously, Senior's down a little bit, but anything could still happen in this game, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here. What do y'all think?
No, I definitely think it's going to be close, especially since it's at Senior. The fans are going to be out for both Senior and East Fairmont. They're not that far of a travel for them. Anything can happen in those kinds of games. I'm actually going to lean towards Senior in this one. I think they can pull off the, you want to call it an upset, but I think they can pull it off in this one.
I'm gonna have to go with East. We haven't seen Senior yet, but East seems like a very solid team, and like I just said, they're very scrappy. They're going to fight.
Yeah. See, I got to be a tiebreaker now. East, I feel like, is the better basketball team, but Senior's streaky. They are sometimes good shooters, and it'll really just come down to that. But I believe Senior's going to get the W there. Historically, I feel like Senior's been better, and I feel like they're going to have a night that night. So we'll have to see how that goes Friday. We'll keep y'all updated, but I got Senior. Now we're on to the college football playoffs. Very fun segment we have on the show. Let's get into the scores. Ole Miss beats Georgia 39-34. Any reactions, y'all? I see Patrick's excited about it.
I was hoping, Lane Kiffin left. Besides Indiana, because, it's Indiana, I want to see them win it. Yeah. Ole Miss is who I want to see win it all after them, losing their head coach. And then, he wanted to coach it. Players said no. They want to win it. I just want to see those guys. I called it before the game. I said Georgia's going to lose. And, I'd love to see it. Love to see the upset.
Love to see Georgia lose.
Oh, of course.
Great to see Ole Miss win, and hopefully they do good in the rest of the playoffs.
Yep, just seeing those powerhouses go down just really makes me feel great, honestly. And I agree. Seeing those Ole Miss boys rally was amazing. And besides Indiana, I want to see them win. And it's nice they get to play each other on different sides of the bracket, and they'll be on to Miami next round, which is, I think, is the best matchup they could have asked for in this situation, in this spot in the college football playoffs. So, or Ole Miss has a good chance to pull something off. And then, huge shocker here. Indiana beat the brakes off of Alabama, 38-3. Saban might be a little bit disappointed in his boys because that was atrocious.
Well, those aren't Saban boys because Saban wouldn't have let them go down by that much. You know, it's just a different team with a different head coach. You can see the mentality of the kids. You got receivers dropping balls. That wouldn't happen under Saban. He's, you know, I don't know. Alabama's, they're not the Alabama they used to be. You know, hopefully they can bounce back. But I think it's going to have to take a tougher coach than what they have right now. I think he's playing the friendly game because, unfortunately, that's what you have to do in today's college football. If a player doesn't like a coach, they're going to go up, hit the transfer portal, and leave. So, I mean, who knows if you'll ever see a coach like Saban again, but you know, it seems like Alabama needs one.
Yeah, you never like to see that in a postseason game like that.
No.
Because you're supposed to be seeing the best of the best, and it doesn't feel like that. But at the end of the day, they're all great players, but
yeah,
rough to see it go down like that.
That's just been a very weird theme of this college football playoffs. Just blowout after blowout. Everyone wanted to blame the G5 schools, and then the Power 4 schools got blew the same way. So anything can happen. Anyone can go down. It just matters on any given night. So it's just how it is. And then you want to talk about a coach like Saban. From these interviews I'm seeing, Cignetti seems like he could be that guy. Bringing an Indiana team nobody heard of. I mean, obviously we knew who the Hoosiers were, but not football-wise.
Basketball, you know, and yeah, they're Indiana. I really think they will win it all. I hope they do. And, you know, I just don't see anyone keeping up with them offensively and defensively. They're so complete as a team.
And if I'm not mistaken, the coach for Indiana right now was at JMU last year.
Yes, he was. Big JMU guy here.
A whole bunch of players with him, which really stinks because big JMU fan over here.
And the whole JMU roster's gone.
Yeah.
I doubt many of my viewers keep up with JMU football, but the QB left, the running back left. I think very few stayed, so that's a tragedy. Hopefully they can rebound. Hopefully the Florida coach can do good for them.
Yeah.
It might be rough.
They still made the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
Playing Oregon, blowout, but at the end of the day, good for them for making it, and it's still a good game.
They still put up a decent amount of points. That's all you can ask for. Defensively, it's tough, but it's still shootout offensively. Love to see it.
Texas Tech got blown out by them, so.
Exactly. 23-0. How do you get shut out in the college football playoffs?
Yeah. It's unfortunate because WVU fans, I mean, Big 12, it's not too good of a look for the Big 12, you know. I was actually rooting for Texas Tech to, you know, win this game. You always want to see the Big 12 do good unless it's because WVU, we're irrelevant as of right now. So you don't really have like a hatred, rivalry with these guys. So it's like, you know, whatever makes us look better, I guess. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I was disappointed. Couldn't even put up a single point. You got to feel bad for that defense because they are an elite defense. You know, I believe they barely gave up any touchdowns. A lot of them were just turnovers that set Oregon up in the red zone to begin their drives. So, you know, that defense is elite, and they got one of the best defensive players in college football. So, you know, it's unfortunate for the defensive guys that's how they go out, especially for the senior ones.
Yeah, it's just seeing the defense hold a great Oregon team to 23 points. I got it. 1 second. Sorry. Threw me off my game a little bit. So, seeing a great defense hold a great offense to such few points, especially when their offense went nowhere, it's very impressive. They had a great game, and it hurts to see that. Now, another great defensive game or terrible offensive game, depending on how you look at it. Miami beat A&M 10-3. I saw a fun statistic. More A&M fans got arrested than points scored total. So maybe A&M would like to build on their 3 points.
No, I watched that entire game, and
You're a brave man.
I am not impressed with Carson Beck at all. Even though they ended up beating Ohio State as well, I'm just not impressed with him at all. That offense, especially the only touchdown they scored in that game, it was all their running back. That guy carried them all the way down the field, broke a big run. I don't see Miami winning. But I didn't see him winning against Ohio State, so I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. Miami's defense is just amazing. That's the reason they're still in games, because nothing on their offense jumps out at me, especially not their quarterback. Carson Beck is a fraud, 100%, and it'll be proven. I guess we have a mini crowd of one person standing now, just staring. It's a little freaking me out a little bit, honestly. But let's get to WVU. Or wait, no, we're not done yet. Never mind. Still on college football. What do you guys think? Should G5 schools make the playoffs? What is your opinion on it?
Yeah, it's just like March Madness. You got to give those guys a chance. Creates the best stories when you put an underdog in there. It eventually one will win, and it'll just be great to see.
Yeah, and then G5 fan here, JMU fan, speak up.
At the end of the day, they're D1, and they deserve the same opportunity.
Yeah,
They face the same amount of competition. JMU held their own enough against Oregon. They deserve just as much of a shot as Texas Tech. So
I agree. It's just, I think, as Bryce said, there has to be the underdog factor to it. If we just put in all the regular teams on a down year, like the Notre Dames, where they had 2 losses and no major wins, how do you excuse putting that in? Versus a tough team like JMU or Tulane, who won their conference and had dominant seasons. You just can't make that call, especially with Notre Dame not playing in a conference. Have you seen their schedule for next year? Their hardest opponent's Wisconsin.
I don't believe Wisconsin's going to improve much from this year, are they? So yeah, at Notre Dame, I saw fans were really upset, but they can only blame themselves. All the rest of their sports teams playing the ACC, just join a conference. If you really think you deserve to be in there, it shouldn't be a problem to play in the ACC, who everyone thinks is a super soft conference anyway. But Miami's proven people wrong. Making the SEC look a little overrated this year.
Yeah, it's they made the right decision, I believe. Now, I was questioning why Bama got in at 3 losses, but overall, it's Bama. That's right. But they got bounced 38-3 by Indy, so they were supposed to lose that game anyway. And then, speaking on that, why are games so lopsided? How is this happening? It doesn't matter who it is. There's more games than not are blowouts. That can't be. These are the best teams in the nation. How is it happening?
I think this year, more than any other,
Keep going.
you see so many teams. You don't really see a dominant team like you do in the past. Usually it's the Alabama. You had Clemson. They would blow out, beat every single team they had. And, Ohio State would always beat teams. But now you don't have a dominant team in college football. Every team can go out and lose to any other team. No one's untouchable right now in college sports. And, I think that has something to do with the transfer portal and, everyone getting players, being able to pay them, bribe them, not just the SEC. So, it's different.
Yeah, the old Saban tricks aren't exclusive anymore, so now not everyone's on an even playing field, but there's more spread out wealth in the college football landscape where all the rich schools can pay their players and keep up with the old powerhouses like Bama and Georgia.
yeah, you've got to think that the transfer portal and stuff has got to be a big impact on that. With like we said, Indiana's coach recruited 3 of his previous players at least to come over to him
more than
with
that,
Indiana. Like, it's just so unfair to all the other teams who actually have to recruit kids out of high school.
Yeah.
And it's unfair to the high schoolers who have to compete against 20-year-olds for spots on the team that are coming
Yeah,
in. So.
not just 20. I mean, the Oregon QB is 25, I believe, and then Saints rookie quarterback Tyler Shug is. Oh, hey, beat up. Huh?
Unprofessional.
It's whatever, dude. What else was there? What was I talking about? All right. What do you guys think about the Heisman? Did the right person win? I believe so. What do y'all think?
Best player on the best team. It's simple and sweet. No one else deserved it more than him. No.
Anything else you got?
Doesn't matter. We weren't the ones voting, so can't really complain.
I didn't like the Travis Hunter one. I'm gonna just say that.
Ashton Jeanty should have had it.
Ashton Jeanty should have had it.
Had one of the greatest rushing seasons ever. No awards to show for it. Well, he had the best running back award, but you wanted the Heisman. Can't believe he didn't win. All right, let's get into this mess of WVU football. Well, we got a new transfer, QB Michael Hawkins from Oklahoma. How is he going to perform? I know he's the backup, but that could be something better than we usually see.
I mean, that's what West Virginia's been playing with all year. All we've had is backups, and I don't know. It's I miss WVU sports when you had a consistent roster. You came back next season seeing the same faces. I mean, I don't know. It's tough when you're not one of the best teams in college football. It's hard to get players, but we've gotten a few from the transfer portal. Some really good 3-stars, I believe. I believe we got the most 3-stars out of anyone. It's amazing. Hopefully Rich Rod can turn those guys into great players, and we can win some games, win Big 12, hopefully, make a shot at playoffs. You never know. Texas Tech, I mean, that's the best team we're going to face. I feel like if we can build a good team, we can beat them.
Yeah, like Bryce said, I've been having a hard time keeping up with them because it's new players every year.
Yeah.
It's tough to get behind those guys, but this Michael Hawkins guy, I mean, sometimes you just need guys to get opportunity and feel like they really belong on the team. And being a backup, I'm sure he doesn't have the confidence where he knows if he throws a pick, he's out for the year. So who knows? Just let him go out there and be him, and he should do just fine.
Yeah. And as Bryce said, it's hard to really form a team when you have 44 players leaving for the portal, including our starting quarterback, our receiving core, our running back. 44 players is 2 starting lineups, basically. 22 players, both sides of the ball. All of that is gone. So hopefully our big recruiting class can help fill those gaps. We're going to have a lot of inexperience, and I feel like it's going to keep being that way for the foreseeable future. So hopefully we can get a little bit more consistency as we move on. We're all right. How will this team gel with all those previously mentioned new faces? Can Rich Rod get a sense of team dynamic with these boys?
I mean, there's really no way to tell until the season starts, and it basically just comes down to the coaching staff and what they do in the offseason to get rid of egos that might be there. Really get them to work together.
Yeah, I think it'll just take time, but these players are all used to going from one place to another, I'm sure. So I think it'll just take a little bit of time, but I think they'll click.
Yeah, and I just feel like coaching is getting more difficult as the years go on. You're stepping on eggshells to make sure you don't affect the players mentally to where they want to leave your program immediately. And if you can't find success in 2-3 years, you could possibly be leaving. So it'll be a very tough job for Rich Rod to complete. We'll have to see. And then, who's going to win the QB battle? If Scotty Fox stays, is this Oklahoma guy going to come light the world on fire and take the job, or is Scotty Fox going to hold it?
I mean, I feel like people have mixed feelings about Scotty Fox. I know some people that really love him and think highly of him, but I don't think he's all that. I think he makes. I mean, he was a freshman, so maybe he can step up and get down his mistakes that he had. But I don't know. I feel like an older, more experienced quarterback could be what we need to start off the season. Maybe, hopefully, Scotty Fox stays, sits behind him, learns some things, and then he can step up his junior year and be our franchise guy.
Yeah, only time will tell, but I think this Michael Hawkins guy, you got to give him opportunity more than he had before, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Scotty Fox, but
I tell you, I miss Will Greer. We had an old, poised pocket passer who was accurate and consistent most of the time.
Could run to escape the pocket.
Yes.
It wasn't his only ability.
He was elusive when he had to be, instead of making it the primary aspect of his game, like Garrett Green and like Scotty Fox for now, but there's time for him to adapt his game and become a more consistent passer as time goes on.
yeah,
What do we got here?
basketball. Good basketball.
Yeah. So far, we have a decent record in the season, but we really haven't had any wins against quality competition. I looked at our record. All the ranked teams we've lost to pretty handily, so we have to build on that if we want to make a push for a tournament, or we're going to be the NIT again.
It's the same as football, probably even more so. You see no familiar faces. It's new guys every single year, whole new roster. You got to learn what these guys do every single year, who does what. It gets frustrating sometimes. You want a guy who's, and it's probably going to be like that next year, whole new team. But, I don't know. We can compete against good teams, but I don't see us doing anything. No teams are going to fear us as much as they did last year. The team that should have been in March Madness.
Making March Madness is so important because just making it, you don't know what you can do, and but also keeping the guys around. Nobody's trying to stay at a program if they don't make the tournament. So just making the tournament's really, really important, especially on teams like this.
Yeah, and I don't have an issue with the transfers. I feel like it's a good thing. We have a decent roster talent-wise. We got to recruit some younger faces. They're all seniors. Even if they were going to stay, they can't. They're all gone next year. So we can't build consistency if we keep pulling in seniors on seniors on seniors, like Javon Small last year. If we could have had him for another year to build, who knows what he could have done. We would have easily made the tournament, and it wouldn't have been close like last year somehow.
But like I said, it's so unfair to high schoolers who have to compete against these guys because it's so much easier to pull somebody who has 3 to 4 years of experience already to jump straight into gameplay. But
yeah, it's just we're not in a win-now state. We don't have to be. Now, other big teams, they can be if they want to, but we should be looking to build for the future to have a good team and then move on because we don't have the recruiting ability to get these amazing transfers and 5-star recruits, so we have to just build.
yeah,
And then can we find an interior dominant force? Because I thought we had it for a second with Obioha, but he's just fallen off. It's been very tragic.
No, I haven't seen a dominant big man since, Derek Culver, and we had a great stretch of big man. We had Nathan Adrian, we had Sagaba Kanate, great big guys, and, we just haven't really had one since, We had a couple 7-footers that, we thought could have been good, but, they just weren't dominant. They were just tall, and, they were there. It's unfortunate to see, but I think we need to get a center, one that can really score the ball. I think that's how you win college basketball. You look at the best players, they're all centers, the most dominant players. You had Luka Garza a couple years ago for Iowa, that guy dominating the league. College basketball is run by big men.
Yeah, I feel like I wish we could have held on to Shibwe. I really believe he could have been great for us, and he went off to Kansas and kept doing great things. So if we could have kept him here, I know he was going, but it just reminded me of the big men we lost. So we'll have to find something like that again. And then, can Hunter Huff keep this up? Seriously. He's averaging like 17 points a game. Next closest is like 10 points. I think it's Laureate is next closest. So,
They beat Cincinnati. What was it, last night?
62-60. Good game.
He had so many of those points, though.
Yeah.
Besides him, people really need to step it up on that team.
Yeah. Feels like I'm covering the Bearcats, too. Just
Yeah.
no real scoring. 62 is decent, but it's got to be better. Good defense, too. 60 in a college basketball game is very solid. Yeah. And then, how far can this team make it? Is there a shot that they can see March Madness? What do you think?
At their current state, I don't think so. They're not consistent enough. They don't score. It looks like every possession is a struggle to get the ball in the hoop unless Hunter Huff just knocks down a three. So I mean, we don't really. That's something we've never really had an offense that can score off plays. We've always been get steals, push, be intense, and score off of that. So I think that's what needs to change.
All right. That's all we got time for. Thank you for spending your time with us in preparation for this lovely Wednesday night. I'm Tyler Clem here with Bryce Kelly and JK, signing off tonight. As my boss would say, take care.